Here in the second lesson, we're going to look at the chord riffs that are being played. And the song is in the key of E, and the main little vamping chord that you hear is an E ninth. You hear something like this. And that is the first little riff that I have tabbed out for you. What I'm doing is playing an E9, and you could play it just the top three strings, but I listen to it and I really think he's playing more the full chord, or at least with the first finger at the 6th fret of the 4th string. But I'm just making the whole second position 9th chord and playing this. He's chopping it, so he's cutting it off. Pretty simple, but very cool. Now when you listen to the original tune, it sounds like he's using this little bass run sometimes to get into this, maybe throughout the whole song. Again, I don't know if this is the other guitar playing this or if this is the bass playing this. It's really hard to hear. But what you could do is play that little riff. And what I'm doing is starting on the 7th fret of the 6th string, and then doing a chromatic run on the 5th string, 5, 6, 7, and then the open 6th string. That's what might be going on. I can't hear exactly. I've never seen the song played live on any video clips, so I have no idea. That's just my hypothesis as to what's going on. Now he does some variations in different parts of the song with that same E ninth chord. And I'm just going to break those down and show them to you, and then you can find them in the song and you'll know what he's playing. So this is all over the 1, or the E. There's another little lick he does. It's really simple, and you hear this. Something like that, where he's going to slide to an F sharp ninth, which is the same shape as the E ninth. Just move the 2nd finger to the 9th fret, same chord shape. And you're just going to walk it down from the F sharp to an F, back to the E. Very simple, but very cool. You got this. Really neat, and that's another variation that you're going to hear. And then later in the song, over the E with this E ninth, he does something like this. One of those riffs. And that one, I can't tell if he's just doing the 3 strings, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd string, like, which is how some guys do it. But I hear a little more full sound. So I like to slide the whole 9th chord shape and get a little of the bottom end in there. So he does something with that one where he sets it up with an E7. Like that, I think is how he does it. And that's in one of the later verses of the song. So whenever the tune is over the 1, most of the time that second guitar is playing some form of chord riff using this E ninth shape. One more thing on the E ninth chords. There's another point in the song where he picks it a little differently and slides into the E ninth. So instead of just doing this, he does something like this. This little, it sounds to me like sliding down, maybe a downstroke with the pick, then a quick upstroke. Something along those lines. Listen to the whole song and pay attention whenever he plays that E ninth, and you'll hear that variation in there. It's just an example of how you can take the exact, one simple idea, and you can milk a bunch of different variations out of it that work within the context of the song. Now when he gets over the 4, he plays something a little different. And when I first listened to the song, I thought he was just taking the E9 shape and moving it to the 12th fret and playing A9. But the more I listen to it, I don't hear that high end, the high notes. So I used my limited problem-solving skills, and I deduced that he's playing the E9th like this, which is what I call a 6th chord shaped ninth. My fingers, my second finger is on the 7th fret of the 3rd string, and that's my A. My second finger is on the 6th fret of the 3rd string. My ring finger is on the 7th fret of the 1st string. And my pinky or 4th finger is on the 8th fret of the 2nd string. And so what he's doing is a variety of different riffs using that chord shape when he plays over the A. Now there is one part in the song, if I remember right, where I think he may go to that A9. Not positive, I'm trying to remember that right now, but most of the time he's doing something with that shape. And there's a couple places, including the very first verse, where he does a little lead-in, something like that, and then into that chord. Another variation I hear on that is sliding into it. Something like that. So when you listen to Ace's Shuffle, anything over the 4, there's a bunch of times where I think he's using that A9th chord shape. Now there's other places in this tune where I can't hear what's being played over the 4. And I don't know whether the second guitar player, whether it's Lewis or Dave Myers, I don't remember who played what. But if he's just laying out on that, or if he's playing maybe a little shuffle, I don't hear that at all. That was something that they played on the Little Walter tunes quite a bit. Again, you'll have to listen to it and see what you think. But if you're playing the shuffle, a lot of guys will just play a 9th, a first position 9th, but this sounds way cooler, I think. And that's what I think is being played on Ace's Shuffle. Finally, for the chord progression and the chord riffs that you hear being played in the tune, when he goes over the 5, it's really hard again to hear exactly what's being played. I do hear a B9. So first position, B9th chord, and I'll have this charted out for you so you can see. And maybe there's a little bass lead in. Something like that. And then when he goes to the 4, I either hear this, the 9th chord shape, or I just can't tell what's being played. So you could use a lot of different chords there. You could use a first position, A9, and then to your 1 or your E. You could use an A7. You listen and see what you think is going on there. So that's any time in the song where they go from the 5 to the 4 to the 1. Now there's a couple places, as we'll see, where he plays some single string runs over the 4. And that makes it easy. So we'll get to that here in a little bit. So throughout the tune, you're going to hear these chord vamps going on. And you're either playing the E9th, or you're hearing the A9th. And there may or may not be these little bass run-ins. That one over the 1. That one I hear for sure when he goes into the 4 in a couple different parts of the song. So there's the second lesson for Ace's Shuffle. When I come back, we'll take a look at how he combines some double stop licks with some chord riffs. And this, to me, is one of the coolest parts of this song.